Hey everyone, and welcome on this journey through time as we explore the Roman Republic. You know, when we look up at the night sky, we often talk about the vastness of space, the mysteries of the cosmos. But here on Earth, we have equally fascinating stories etched into the very fabric of our history. Today, we're diving deep into the Roman Republic, a civilization that laid the groundwork for Western civilization as we know it. We'll explore its innovative governance, its tumultuous conflicts, and its lasting impact on modern society. Buckle up, because we're traveling back in time. So, how did this whole Roman Republic thing actually work? I mean, we use the word republic today, but what did it mean back then? Imagine a system radically different from the monarchies of their time. The Roman Republic was a delicate balancing act, a power-sharing arrangement that for its time was quite revolutionary. At the heart of it all was the Senate, a council of elder statesmen, the wise heads you might call them, who advised the leaders and shaped policy. Think of them as the experienced navigators, charting the course of the Republic. But they weren't alone at the helm. The Romans, they understood the dangers of concentrating power, so they had these two guys, the consuls, elected every year to serve as the heads of state. It was like having two captains on a ship, each one able to veto the other, just to make sure no one got too power-hungry. And then there were the assemblies, gatherings of citizens, where the people themselves could directly vote on laws and issues. This, my friends, was a radical departure from the decrees of kings and emperors. This was a system where, at least in theory, the power resided in the hands of the people. Now, no society is perfect, and the Roman Republic was no exception. From its very foundation, it faced internal tensions that threatened to tear it apart. This wasn't just some abstract political debate. This was about real people, their lives, their struggles. You see, in the early days of the Republic, you had the patricians, the wealthy elite, the ones who held most of the power. And then you had the plebeians, the common citizens, the farmers, the artisans, the backbone of Roman society. For years, the plebeians had chafed under the rule of the patricians, their voices often ignored. Then came a breaking point, a moment of reckoning that the Romans called the struggle of the orders. Imagine the tension, the unrest, as the plebeians, tired of being marginalized, demanded a greater say in their own governance. This wasn't just about wealth. It was about fundamental rights, about having a voice in the decisions that shaped their lives. And you know what? They won. Through persistence, and let's be honest, a little bit of social pressure, the plebeians forced the patricians to concede. They secured important rights, including the establishment of the tribune of the plebs, an office designed to protect their interests. This, my friends, was a pivotal moment in Roman history, a testament to the power of collective action, and a reminder that even in ancient times, the fight for equality was very much alive. Now, while the Romans were busy sorting out their internal affairs, a new threat emerged on the horizon, a threat that would push the Republic to its limits and ultimately reshape the geopolitical landscape. Across the Mediterranean Sea, in what is now modern-day Tunisia, lay the powerful city-state of Carthage. Carthage, with its mighty navy and strategic location, was a force to be reckoned with, a rival for control of the Mediterranean. And so began a series of epic clashes spanning over a century that we now call the Punic Wars. Imagine massive land battles, elephants marching across the Alps, and naval engagements that decided the fate of empires. One name echoes through the ages from this conflict: Hannibal. A Carthaginian general of unparalleled skill and audacity, Hannibal marched his army, complete with elephants, over the Pyrenees and the Alps, a feat of military logistics that still boggles the mind. He inflicted a series of crushing defeats upon the Romans, striking fear into the heart of the Republic. But Rome, as it would time and time again, proved to be a resilient foe. They weathered the storm, rebuilt their armies, and ultimately emerged victorious from the Punic Wars. These wars, however, came at a cost. Rome was transformed, its armies larger, its reach extending far beyond the Italian peninsula. The Republic that had once been content with regional power was now well on its way to becoming a Mediterranean superpower. The legacy of Roman law, the 12 tables and beyond. When we talk about the Roman legacy, it's easy to get caught up in the grandeur of their architecture, the might of their legions. But there's another aspect of Roman civilization that has had a profound and lasting impact on our world: their legal system. Imagine a time when laws were shrouded in mystery, known only to a select few. In ancient Rome, they decided to change that. They inscribed their laws on 12 bronze tablets, the famous 12 tables, and put them on public display in the Roman Forum for all to see. This, my friends, was a revolutionary act. It meant that the law was no longer an instrument of the powerful, but a tool accessible to all citizens. The 12 tables formed the bedrock of Roman law, a system that emphasized fairness, due process, and the protection of property rights. These principles, refined and developed over centuries, would go on to influence legal systems across the globe, from Europe to Asia to the Americas. So the next time you walk into a courtroom or open a law book, remember that you're witnessing the enduring legacy of the Roman Republic, a legacy etched not in stone, but in the very fabric of our legal systems. The cracks in the foundation, seeds of the Republic's decline. But even the mightiest of empires, the most enduring of republics, are not immune to the forces of history. The Roman Republic, having weathered storms both internal and external, began to face a new set of challenges that would ultimately lead to its downfall. The very success of Rome, its expansion, its conquests, had sown the seeds of its own destruction. The once small farmer soldiers, the backbone of the Roman army, found themselves displaced, their lands consolidated into vast estates worked by slave labor. This led to widespread unemployment, social unrest, and a growing divide between the haves and the have-nots. Adding fuel to the fire were the ambitions of powerful generals, men who had tasted victory on the battlefield and now sought power in the political arena. These weren't your citizen soldiers of old, content to return to their farms after a campaign. These were men like Marius, Sulla, Pompey, men who commanded the loyalty of legions, men who were not afraid to use their armies to advance their own political agendas. The stage was set for a clash of titans, a power struggle that would determine the fate of the Republic. The rise of Caesar, crossing the Rubicon, and the end of an era. And then came Caesar, Gaius Julius Caesar, a name that has become synonymous with ambition, power, and the fall of the Roman Republic. A brilliant military strategist, a shrewd politician, a master of propaganda, Caesar understood the currents of his time, the simmering discontent, the ambition of powerful men. He rose through the ranks, securing victory after victory in Gaul, amassing power and popularity along the way. The Senate, wary of his growing influence, ordered him to disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. Caesar faced a choice that would seal the fate of the Republic. He could obey the Senate, relinquish his command, and risk facing trial and obscurity. Or he could defy the Senate, march on Rome, and seize power for himself. We all know what happened next. On the banks of the Rubicon River, the boundary between Gaul and Italy, Caesar uttered those famous words, "Alea iacta est," the die is cast. He crossed the Rubicon, marched on Rome, and ignited a civil war that would bring the Republic to its knees. Caesar's victory ushered in a new era, an era of emperors and autocrats. The Roman Republic, with its ideals of shared power, civic duty, and the rule of law, was no more. The end of a republic, the dawn of an empire. From the Senate to the assemblies, from the Punic Wars to the rise of Caesar, we've journeyed through the tumultuous history of the Roman Republic. We've witnessed its triumphs, its struggles, and ultimately, its fall. The Roman Republic may be lost to the sands of time, but its legacy continues to shape our world. Its ideals of governance, its contributions to law, its lessons in the fragility of power, they all serve as reminders that the choices we make today shape the course of human history.